Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. Today we're meeting in the lower garden and we're going to begin our month-long project of rearranging this space. So last fall and early spring I did a whole bunch of rearranging in our front yard garden and I love it. It looks clean and organized and makes sense to me, and I'm ready to tackle this lower garden. The lower garden is essentially in shade most of the year, and it stays really moist and really wet. So it has its own challenges, and I don't like to work for long periods of time during the spring, winter, or fall down here. So it's really just like July and August that I'm willing to spend a lot of extra time down here, and in the meantime it kind of gets ignored. So to begin with, I have a whole bunch of pruning to do and weeding to do and just general cleanup and maintenance, and then once everything's clean I can really see what's here and what I'm ready to like move, remove, replace, add to, and all of that fun stuff. But to begin with, we just have to start with a clean slate. Much like rearranging your living room, right? Like you're not going to just like move the couch with a bunch of books and toys and a blanket on there. You're going to get all the things off the couch and then move the couch. Or at least that's how I prefer to do it. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you the area that we're going to be working in. We're clearly not going to get the entire lower garden done today by any means, but we're going to start at one end and just kind of work our way back throughout the next couple of weeks. All right, so what my goal for this morning is to start at the bottom of this staircase and work my way to this post and in this kind of like circle area. So we have this rhododendron, which all of this is going to get removed. Everything that's growing out here is going to get removed. And then we're just going to kind of do some heading cuts on the rest of it. And maybe a little bit of limbing up. Remove all the horsetail, weed the rocks. Do a little limbing up and push back on this rhodie just to clean it up. I have some pruning to be done on this viburnum. We have foxgloves that need to be pruned or, you know, cut down, and just like little cleanup stuff. We have this huge skunk cabbage that's done blooming. We'll remove all the leaves, pull back the ivy, blackberry, all that kind of stuff, so that you can kind of, I want to limb this up so that you can actually see that lily that's blooming back there. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna work on. I'm just gonna throw the camera up and get to work. Like maybe leave some of these new blooms, like there's a couple of blooms that haven't opened up there, like to let them do their thing and just appreciate the last remnants of the rhododendrons, because this is the very last of the last rhododendrons blooming in the garden this year. right, great. So we just worked a couple hours down here and got things kind of cleaned up. There's still a ton to do, obviously, but now I can see what needs to be done rather than being completely overwhelmed with all the things that need attention. Now I can clearly see, like, okay, I want to limb up the rhododendrons. I want to, you know, repair some of these pallets, which we knew, but it's just like, you know, when there's so many other things, it's like, where do you start? You just have to start somewhere, right? So, yeah, just, I feel like everything can breathe a little bit more and have a better understanding of where to go from here. So I'm going to turn the camera around, show you what things are looking like now, talk a little bit about what the next steps are, and give you a preview of the next part of the garden that we're going to work in, and do kind of the same thing that we did today. So hopefully you can tell that things just look a little bit cleaner, a little bit more open. I started with this Spirit Viburnum, took off the leader, which I don't know if it wants to be a tree, but I don't want it to be a tree, so I'm just trying to encourage it to be more bushy. I might have to bring that full leader down even further. You could see what a strong, like, tree leader kind of thing it wants to do, but you know, I just kind of pushed it off the stairwell and headed back some of the branches so that they branch out more. And then with this rhodie, I really just took branches that were on the pathway so that there weren't any eye pokers or anything that felt like they could poke my eye, even though I knew that they wouldn't. Sometimes it's just like an illusion kind of thing, and you want to just feel totally comfortable walking through. And now I can clearly see all the way through to the lilies. There was a couple of dead branches back there. I cut this back a little bit, limbed this up a little bit, and now these have a little bit more light, and hopefully we'll get a few more lilies than just that one little one. Spencer worked in this area and got a whole bunch of weeds out of here, cut back the skunk cabbage. You could see the crown right here. We do leave all of the horsetail, like from basically where you're seeing it right now, this ferny texture. This is horsetail. We leave it back in here, and hopefully once these guys are limbed up more, I can just have like a whole understory of horsetail. I use it a lot medicinally, and it just does a great job growing in these moist soils, so I let it go. We also have a little bit of, what is this, like Queen of the Nile or something, growing in here, kind of getting smothered a little bit, but I'm hoping that now that I've opened up the canopy a little bit more, it has a little bit of light, it'll start blooming. And then, of course, the primroses are in a lull right now. This is in a time of year that they would be blooming, but they're at least not getting choked out by all the other things. I took off a secondary leader off of this dogwood. This is a pink flowering dogwood. Kind of see little remnants of the pink China crow. It's, I think, like 2 years old. It got a little scorching early in the season. It got really cold, and then it got really sunny, and so we have some damaged leaves from that. But I'm trying to just let it do its own thing without babying it too much. We took off a big lump of this rhodie that was kind of growing all through here, and then I did a bunch of weeding here. I did take out horsetail here and just threw it into the back there so the spores can do their thing underneath the canopy of the rhodie, but I don't want it out here so much. Uncovered this beautiful snowberry. It has gotten quite large. We put this in as a whip a few years ago, and it's looking just beautiful. I'm loving it. And then I forgot that I had even planted black mondo grass, which is kind of surprising that it's even hanging on as well as it is, but I have a project coming up that I want to plant black mondo grass. So I think I'm just gonna dig all these up eventually and do that and just transplant them into the project. I might even just wait until that project is ready and available for those, and then just come and dig them up and plant them right away where I want to plant black mondo grass here soon. And then we stopped here, and you know, it takes a lot of willpower to just stop and ignore the mess on this side. It's like, nope, I'm not touching this. But this will come next, this whole this whole border, which this is all crocosmia. This is an orange crocosmia. It doesn't bloom over here because it doesn't get enough sunshine. This is just remnants of crocosmia that was all over our yard everywhere, and we just kept throwing it over here. And if it grows and takes up space, and if it would bloom, I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't care. But it doesn't bloom, so I'm not inclined to keep it here. I just pull it out, and I know it's like an ongoing thing forever. I'll have to pull it out for a long time before it's finally suppressed, but that's fine. We're gonna get rid of all this. There's some blackberry. There's another snowberry right here, not as old and not as big, but it is putting on lots of new growth. So if I uncover that and it can get nice and big like the one over there, that'd be awesome. And then we have a slow compost pile right here that we need to remove and address some water issues that we have going on here. And then we have another snowberry here that is a nice, good size. And again, just need to weed all this out. Buttercup, self-heal, all of this needs to go. And then just come in here and clean things up. There's some buttercup. There's the lily of the valley. Just random things. We had this elderberry pop up in this container, which I did not plant. A bird did that for me. But I want to move the container out of here. I want to move that container out of here and just get this area cleaned up. In general, you could see that this pot was over here, and it's like making its way back. It's actually going to go all the way in the back by the gazebo, but you know, I'll get to it when I get to this side. We're going to remove a couple of hostas and move them to a different part of the garden, and we're going to end up taking out and rearranging some of these shrubs that you see here, which I'm really excited about. But before I do that, I need to, you know, trim them up and see, like, what is their shape and where are they, and get all the weeds and ferns and things growing up and around and through them out of there, so I could clearly see what's going on. It looks like a nice, beautiful, lush space, but from the gardener's point of view, I see everything that needs to be addressed, and it is not it's not calming to my senses to just look at it like this. So in addition to the health of my plants being better when they have more airflow and space to grow properly, it's also a benefit to my own personal energetic system, because this kind of, I just want to ignore it. I don't want to deal with it because it's just like too much. It's overwhelming. So I need to create open spaces for me to breathe along with my plants. So that's what we're doing here. And that's what we did today, is just kind of opened up spaces so we could clearly see what's going on and make some decisions about things that we want to do. So cleanup will continue in this area, and then we will start moving perennials and then shrubs and trees, and I have a couple of things I want to plant down here, and I have a lot of things that I want to remove and move to other parts of the garden, and then we can put on the jewelry and make it cute and add some beautiful things in here to make it really just sacred and sweet and personalize it a little bit more. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you were inspired to tackle a space that seems maybe a little overwhelming, but once you get started, it's like a nice deep breath. So I hope you're celebrating your life, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.